What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Party on Broad. Welcome to number 7, Eagles Mock, here where we do a 4-round Eagles mock draft and predict and grade everything you need to know about the 2023 NFL Draft. As always, my main man from Philly Sports Alliance, Ryan Reese. What's going on, man?
Not much, Dives. You know me, always love to do these, and we are in the off season. We have free agency, less than 4 weeks away. I'm really getting pumped now for off season stuff going on.
Yeah, man. I did one of these yesterday with Mark Henry of Chalk Talk, and I'm getting my ass kicked. So if you haven't voted already, we did a dueling mock last night, and me versus Mark is on the channel now. Go vote for who you think has the best Eagles mock. We're doing another 4-round Eagles mock today, but this time using Pro Football Network. I haven't done one of these in a really long time because most of the other ones we're doing like PFF and the Draft Network continues to kind of fall in their face. What is the deal? I don't know. It's very, very frustrating because that was my go-to last year.
Yeah, somebody should email them and tell them to get together.
I'm missing out on thousands upon thousands of mock drafts.
Nope.
All right. All right, here we go. This is a 4-round mock, guys. If you're watching us live, be sure to comment, grade, react to our selections. I am up. Might as well just start the draft. Here we go. Let's see how this goes. Jalen Carter goes number 1 to the Chicago Bears. Will Anderson Jr. to Jonathan Gannon at number 3. I am getting a trade offer here from the Baltimore Ravens. No, I'm not going to do that. I got a lot of trade offers here. I'm not going to do that. I'm not trading that far back. Although I do think, I kind of like this one. The Jets are looking to trade me 13 for 10, and they'll give me a second rounder next year. I'm going to counter that. Let's see if they'd be interested in giving me 43. Trade was declined. All right. So I am sitting here on the clock. Again, real quick breakdown of what we had. Anthony Richardson, number 5. That is interesting. A lot of quarterbacks there, dude. Quentin Johnson and Jordan Addison, 2 wide receivers in the top 9. That's pretty interesting. But I'm going to sit here and propose a trade. Let's see what happens. Let's go to Texans. See if we can trade back a couple spots. See if they're interested at all. No, decline. I'm just going to take the best player available for me. There's a lot of guys sitting here, man. A lot of guys sitting here. I really want to trade back. I really, really want to trade back. Let's try again. Let's try with Green Bay. Let's see if they're at all interested. All right, 10. Oh, I'll try one more time and then we'll go forward. But this is not working out. This is not like the other one we use where it's a lot easier. All right, that didn't work out. So here we are. Ryan, you're muted, man. All right, so let's quickly do the Eagles pick. Matthew chimes in. What websites do you use for the other mock drafts? Typically PFF is what we use. That's what I use. I like their trades. It's just more accessible.
I think right now the best updated mock draft site right now.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take Tyree Wilson for the Eagles. And there we go. I'm going to hit pause. And then can you share your screen? So I take Tyree Wilson, obviously a massive upgrade for the Eagles when it comes to run defense. From day one, Tyree Wilson should be just an absolute terror as an edge rusher, but helping out on run support. Elite measurables, just needs to kind of develop his pass rush arsenal. But I think that's a great addition. I think Tyree Wilson at number 10, if he's sitting there, is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's a good selection. All right, so let me start obviously had 2 picks already selected: Will Anderson, Bryce Young. Wow. Okay. 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 Uh, I cannot with Jalen Carter on the board. I have to try and move up with the Raiders. It's just such a no-brainer. Let me get rid of this. All right, let me try to see if I can move up. Just 7. I mean, I wouldn't think they'd need a lot, right? Uh, Let me give them 94 and like a fifth. That might be nice. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Wow. You know what? I'm gonna let it ride and pray to God that Carolina through my perfect first round pick.
This would be nuts.
Oh,
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Do not trade that pick.
reject. I am literally going to wheel myself up in a wheelchair because I ran too fast, broke both my ankles trying to get up to the board. But I've managed to find a wheelchair and wheeled myself up to get Jalen Carter. Easy selection. No chance in hell this actually happens, but I feel like if he gets past number 3, with all of the trades and potential trades of people trying to trade up for, quarterbacks and, other needs and whatnot, I can definitely see Carter slipping a little bit just because of, who's going to try and rush up there for quarterbacks. And I could totally see the first 3 picks getting, traded in some way or drafting a quarterback. I think if he falls to like 4 or 5, I mean, geez, the Eagles would have plenty of opportunity and capital to move up a couple of spots and select Jalen Carter and just get themselves an absolute stud. So I got lucky, I'll admit. Jalen Carter falls to me at 10. Unlikely, but still, the promise of trading up to get him might be there if things go the Eagles' way.
Well, I might have lost 2 straight because there's no way people are gonna not vote for that. All right,
Yeah.
but let's keep it rolling. I'm up next. I traded back a couple of spots, and I also bumped our 94th pick, I think it is, to pick number 80. So I traded back 2 spots from 30 to 32 and moved my 94 pick to pick 80.
Solid.
I'm sitting here trying to decide what to do. I have a lot of options here. I hate to kind of do what I did yesterday, but it's such a need. But I have to. And I'm going to go again because I'm looking at who was taken. There was a massive run on cornerbacks as expected. Yeah. And there's only one left that I have in that same tier of the guys that were, and that is Emmanuel Forbes just sitting there out of Mississippi State. If the Eagles can get out of the first round addressing defensive line and cornerback, I think we're going to be sitting pretty good. So I hate to kind of do what I did last night, but it is what it is. Emmanuel Forbes to the Eagles has solid size, really good length, big-time playmaker, 6 interceptions. He has a ton of pass breakups. Looks really good, man. Definitely a ball hawk that can develop eventually into a CB1. So that's my selection, Emmanuel Forbes.
I agree. I think you addressed the line, you addressed the CB2 spot, which, again, we're all assuming that Bradbury's practically all but gone. I think that's a home run, regardless. I like Forbes. I definitely agree. He's kind of probably one of the last of the decent tier corners, and then the drop-off kind of happens. So, all right, let me resume my draft. Kind of see how so there goes some wide receivers. Witherspoon last to 14. Oh, my God. I would love that.
Yeah.
And I don't see why the Chargers are going to take Bijan Robinson. Um, but whatever. I guess it is what it is, right?
Mhm.
All right. So I got offered to move back 3 spots. Got
Was,
offered to move back once.
was
Ooh.
was Obi trying to like throw our podcast pun in this comment? If Carter falls to 10, that's party on Broad Street worthy. It's literally the name of this podcast. That's so funny.
Yeah, it quite is. I think that might be an unintentional pun, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and reject this. Honestly, I think this would be
It's
a
a great move.
no-brainer. Yeah, to move up 50 to 95. Let me just check out what the other. Meh, that doesn't really do anything for me. I'd rather do it now.
I like it a lot.
I'm gonna take that. Let's see. And perfect. They didn't take the guy I wanted. I got a couple more offers here. I don't want to move that far back. Although that is nice getting another second next year. And Pittsburgh's still desperately trying to move up. Oof. I don't know. This let me counter this Pittsburgh. Let me see if I can just be like, nah, I don't want to give you that. You want to give me a third to move back one? Yeah. You want to do it? Okay. Well, I'm good with not doing it. All right. So I am going to take another defensive lineman here,
Wow.
Lucas Van Ness, to pair with Jalen Carter. And listen, we have a lot going on the defensive line here in free agency. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, what's his face, whose name is escaping me.
Hargrave.
Hargrave, thank you. So there, it's definitely going to be, a lot of decisions to be made. I can pretty much assume that Hargrave is going to outprice himself to being re-signed here. Cox, Graham, listen, they could be back, but again, they're long in the tooth. They're probably going to get, a pretty, cheap contract to stay and finish their careers here, which would be great. But rebuilding this defensive line, just like they continue to rebuild the offensive line, is the staple of this team and Howie. And man, Lucas Van Ness and Jalen Carter, come on down. Easy decisions for me. Couldn't run fast enough to get that done. And as much as I love a corner, Van Ness is too hard to pass up at that spot should he ever remotely close to falling there.
Yeah, Howie just got the 2 steals of the draft. Carter at 10 and Van Ness at what, 32 or whatever, 30, whatever.
Yeah,
and
whatever.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh, killing it, man. Killing it. I'm hurting. I'm hurting.
Yeah, you just want to concede now, or?
All right. I'm up next. Pick number 62. I'm looking at who's available. You look at whatchamacallit. I already got a corner. You look at this guy, Blake Freeland, 6'8" right tackle prospect that I think would groom nicely under Jeff Stoutland. I'm looking at Sidney Brown, a defensive back that I like a lot. He's got his stock is on the rise big time after the Senior Bowl. Looking at who else is available, Keanu Benton there, who I really like. People apparently, I guess, do not like him. Will McDonald, wow, 110. According to Pro Network, he's a really good player, very good pass rusher. But the guy I'm gonna go with, and it might be moot, but I need the picks or I need the votes. And he at the end of the day, this guy could be in that same tier as like Jahmyr Gibbs, and he might already be there. I'm going to go Zach Charbonnet here for pick 62. Let me make that selection, and I'll hit pause. There, Zach Charbonnet is future Eagle. has future Eagle written all over him. Really good size at 6'1", 220 pounds. He's more of a north-south guy, definitely a short yardage back. But what I love about Charbonnet is he's a fairly decent pass protector, and he's a really good receiver out of the backfield. So check. Two things that's going to get him on the field super, super fast in Nick Sirianni's scheme. Gotta love that. I mean, the idea of like a Zach Charbonnet with Jalen Hurts on 3rd and shorts or 4th and shorts. I mean, pick your poison there. I mean, it would be almost unstoppable. Charbonnet, at the end of the day, I think after the combine, I'll probably have him right there with Jahmyr Gibbs as the RB2 of this draft.
Yeah, no, he's definitely been rising. You see him a lot linked to the Eagles. Yeah, this is especially with Sanders' kind of future up in the air. Although he did just recently come out and say he would take less money, which hey, I'm always for. Because again, he did have a great season. Let's not downplay that, but yeah, that should be a huge hit for Eagles fans for sure. So. Alrighty, I'm up at 62. Got a couple offers here, moving back 9 spots to move up over 100. That's not terrible, but that's you know what? Who do I got coming out there? Yeah, I got a couple of good guys here too. I'm going to reject these guys and see what I got here. So I have 2 defensive linemen already locked up for the next 10 years. I do have Charbonnet. Let's get this Reese's Puffs ad out of the way.
Can't believe we got Jalen Carter at 10.
Yeah, that was by far.
I'm so salty right now, Ryan.
It's the luck of the draw. It really is, right? Wow. They got... Listen, I think my next big need is probably defensive back. And, well, I definitely like the kid from Miami and Eli Ricks as well, a corner from Alabama. I think I'm actually going to go with a safety out of Georgia, Chris Smith. I really like him. Seen a bunch of film on him. Just again, being at Georgia always helps. And again, I think it's a clear need that we need to add to the secondary. And regardless of whether C.J. Gardner-Johnson is back or Bradbury, again, however it shakes out, there's going to be a need to build up this defensive backfield. So. I think he could kind of come in and, again, you have Epps also a free agent. You don't know his future. So I think it's a smart move to bring in a safety and start rebuilding this defensive backfield. And hopefully, corner safety doesn't matter to me. It's all kind of the same. So easy selection to bring in Chris Smith from Georgia.
Love it, man. I love Chris Smith, man. He's such a playmaker. He's that guy that he doesn't have any great tools, but he's always around the football. He's just always there.
As you know, that's something you just cannot teach. Just that natural instinct to be in the play. So that's something I love about him. He definitely just brings it, and I think he would be a great fit, honestly. And like I said. Corner, safety, I don't care. We just need to get some people to fix this defensive backfield because we're probably going to be losing a few starters for sure.
I agree. Rufus says the way Ryan's draft is going, I'm surprised Branch isn't there for him.
Oh my God. Yeah, that would have been another man. I would have crutches, wheelchairs. Man, I've been running up to draft these guys so far.
I love Brian Branch, but I refuse to deep dive into him any further because I know Howie will never touch him in the first round. But I do think he's probably going to be in my top 15 at the end of the day when I do my big boards. Branch is a baller, man. He's
no,
really.
I agree. I think there's like a 1% chance, maybe at 30, that he gets some consideration. But
Yeah,
we all know Howie. Linebackers, safeties, not in the first round. It's just
yeah. That's that's got that's got me written all over it. Where suppose hypothetically the Eagles are sitting there at 30 and Brian Branch is available,
oh God,
I'll be pounding the table for Brian Branch, and Howie doesn't take him, and I'll be upset. But he probably will take someone that's pretty decent. But that's just what it is. Kind of like Kyle Hamilton last year. I'm okay with Jordan Davis, but it is what it is. All right. Let me share my screen. There we go. All right, we're sitting here at pick 80 from a trade. Moved up a little bit from my, I think, second first round pick trade. So I just got off the phone with Zach Charbonnet. We're sitting here at pick 80 of what to do here for the Birds. I'm going to just kind of do what you do and continue to add to the Eagles secondary. And that dude is Sidney Brown out of Illinois. Sidney Brown is a guy whose stock is rising big time. Had a great Senior Bowl. Not unlike Chris Smith in a lot of ways. Like he's not elite, like when it comes to like physical measurements or speed or anything like that. But he's just got he's very, very good to great, like in a lot of different areas. Great short area quickness, really high football IQ. And the one thing that I think Howie will love about this guy, Sidney Brown, is he can play in multiple schemes. He has versatility and experience playing corner and safety, playing up at the line. He's good in coverage. Sidney Brown can kind of do a little of everything. And I know Howie will like that. So Sidney Brown's my selection.
Yeah, no, I definitely like Brown. Like you said, his stock is absolutely rising. And listen, I think when it all comes said and done, I think you look back and see trying to get him at 80 might not be a possibility when the draft actually gets here. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a great value.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right. So I have 2 picks in a row since I moved my 200 and whatever picked up to 94, 95. I forget which one it was. So I got 2 in a row here. Not necessarily. You know what? I'm just going to reject these and go with what I have in front of me here. So, all right. So I have interior defensive line. I have an edge, and I have a safety. Let's see what else I can acquire. I mean, the fact that Will McDonald is still on the board here is it is literally insanity. And
I like to throw this name out there. And when we were doing our PFF mock draft last night, if you scroll up there, pick 114, number 114 is a guy not unlike Sidney Brown, but Deion Henley. PFF had, I think, almost like a top 30 grade on Deion Henley.
Yeah.
What was most impressive about him at the Senior Bowl was just how athletic he is. He's a dude. He's a linebacker that can just drop back in coverage. I think he was a former safety, and he looks so smooth and natural in coverage, man. That guy is a baller.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the disparity in rankings between the two sites for again, McDonald and for Henley. It just seems like 2 completely different thought processes here for these guys. Oh man, I do. You know what? I think I am going to, since I have 2 picks in a row, I think I'm going to snack up Jaden Reed here from Michigan State. Hopefully he can come in, whether or not Quez is here or not, and kind of hopefully battle for that. I definitely like what I see out of him, and I think he could be a nice fit here. So we'll address the wide receiver position here.
Love Jaden Reed. Like he was among my top winners of the Senior Bowl. Great wide receiver. Really good route running, good speed, good separation off the line. He would fit in really well in between AJ and Devontae.
Oh man, there are a couple of guys here I really like. Let's see what we got at corner spot here. Whoa, I don't know why that dropped all the way down to like the 300s.
What position are you looking for?
I was looking to see about corner. Obviously, it's something I definitely want to address. Same with tight end. Again,
Does it even matter? Does it even matter? Like, you're going to blow me away.
I could literally draft punters. In fact, I could draft Tanner McKee, which honestly wouldn't be the worst value in the world right now.
I mean, I wouldn't be that surprised, to be honest.
I think that would unfortunately probably cause a riot.
They need to add a quarterback.
I mean, they definitely should. You know what? I am a linebacker guy through and through, and I do like Henley, and the fact that he is rated so low is kind of throwing me off here. But I think, in all said and done, if he's around the 90s and still around, I think that would be another great third round linebacker selection. So, and again, considering the uncertainty of a few of our guys, I think this would be a great selection to pair with my man, Nakobe Dean.
Awesome, man. You might have my favorite draft ever.
Honestly, we all know that there's a lot of luck involved with this, but you obviously need to make the selections when you can. But yeah, I mean, the fact that Jalen Carter was there alone is insanity, and the fact that Van Ness slipped, and yeah, no, I think if the Eagles even came close to what I've got so far, I think I think I would do a backflip, and I don't know how to do a backflip, so we'll see.
Marina hates my team. Shocking.
Oh, Marina, man, you are so hard on dimes, man.
Always. And then loves your selections, Carter and Van Ness.
I mean, come on, Marina's the best.
I mean, you talk about, your defensive line is just set for the foreseeable future. I love Chris Smith. I love Jaden Reed. Deion Henley has just ridiculous twitch for a linebacker, closing speed, ability to drop back in coverage. You can blitz him in different passing situations. I like Henley a lot. Top to bottom, this is a straight A+. I agree, Marina.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, this is all super dependent on what we do in free agency and who we can retain. But, if you take out what we end up doing and just say, listen, let's not count on anybody resigning. But, you obviously have Jordan Davis going into his second year. You have Sweat coming off a great year. I mean, theoretically, don't we still have what's his face? Man, why am I forgetting his name? Out of Tennessee, it's always him. He was hurt all year.
What, Tennessee? What
defensive edge?
Oh, Derek Barnett.
We theoretically still technically have him. So to add an interior player like Carter to go with Jordan Davis would be just ridiculous. And then to add Van Ness with Sweat, that alone right there, you have you have youth, you have just size, you have talent. And then again, if you're able to bring back, Cox, Brandon Graham for some more veteran leadership there and the rotation, which we all know has been our bread and butter the last few years, that defensive line is disgusting. And again, you have then, I feel like the next thing on the defense is the defensive backfield, figuring out CB2. Again, who knows with Bradbury, but again, unlikely. You also have Gardner Johnson, but you bring in somebody like a Chris Smith to replace or to add to the depth of Blankenship and build on what he did this year. And if you're able to get Epps or Gardner Johnson, one of the two, I think, should be back. again, that you're building that back up. And, another linebacker with a more, we have two linebackers that are hitting free agency here. So, again, we don't know what's going on here, but talent is talent. And we also need to figure out some people on the offense. I know a lot of the notoriety gets on our defense, and the free agents we have, 8 out of 11 starters are basically free agents here. So, but the offense, don't get it twisted. There's a lot of decisions to be made. First, starting with Kelsey, and if he's coming back, I know they converted some money, so we're gaining a little cap space. Mm-hmm. You need to figure out right guard. You need to figure out tight end 2. You need to figure out wide receiver 3, because Quez wasn't it. We all know, but do we just give up on Quez, or we call it a bad year and give him a shot? So. I think this addresses a lot of the uncertainty coming into next year. And my God, if we even get half of this, I'm doing a backflip.
Yeah, there's so much upside in everything you selected here. Carter, Van Ness, Smith, even Henley, I think, are going to be starters. And you look at Jaden Reed, and he also has experience returning punts and returning kicks. So that is a really good one. If you don't know who Jordan Reed is, go check out my video on the Senior Bowl, because no one could stop him. No one could stay in front of him. He was just dynamic. So Jaden Reed was a huge winner there. Let's go to mine quick. Yeah. I took Tyree Wilson at pick number 10. The Eagles' kind of run defense was a bit of a weakness last year, and I think Tyree Wilson's a 3-down edge rusher that could really fix that for the Eagles. Emmanuel Forbes was the best available at corner. Love Emmanuel Forbes. I kind of deep dived into him last night. I'm not going to do that here. Zach Charbonnet is another guy I absolutely love. The next kind of replacement for Miles Sanders. The numbers he would put up alongside Jalen Hurts in an RPO kind of offense are just ridiculous, with his abilities to impact the game as a receiver and as a pass blocker. So he can do a bit of everything in Nick Sirianni's system. Sidney Brown is kind of a jack of all trades. Safety, his stock is rising big time as we stand, but he can kind of do everything really well. Great coverage, safety, and a guy that can also play up at the line. So that's my 4. I like this a lot. I would be super happy if the Eagles were to get this group in 2023. However, it doesn't have the flash of what you ended up with.
Yeah, no, honestly, I taking my lucky draft, let's just be honest, out of it, this, again, hits a lot of needs. We obviously know that we need help on the defensive line. And I think Tyree Wilson would be a great fit, an absolute great fit for the Eagles. Emmanuel Forbes, as we said, kind of that last, as there was a run on corners there, it's kind of the last of that top couple tiers there with the corners. There's a pretty significant drop off in my opinion. But and Charbonnet, listen, you have drafted Charbonnet in 63 consecutive drafts. And listen, it's for a good reason. Like you said, that guy can do a lot. And again, we all like Miles Sanders, I think, especially after the year he's had. He kind of finally stepped up. But listen, running backs come and go, plain and simple. And, there's a difference between paying a running back $7 million and getting one in the second round. You can look at the statistics of Super Bowl winning teams that have cheap running backs, essentially, and it's all over the place. So, and then Sidney Brown, again, I picked Chris Smith, but I think for where you got him to, I think the value is very similar. I think I got Smith at 62 and you got Brown at 80. I think that's also very similar, good value. And like I said, you addressed the secondary, which desperately needs some figuring out. Let's just say not help, but figuring out. So,
yeah. Rufus chimes in, gives you an A+. Anyone that doesn't give you an A+,
you're done from grading drafts.
Vibes A-. The fact that we didn't draft another center in the second. I love it. 92 Philly Law says, why not take Eli Ricks with that third pick after getting Jalen Carter, Luke? Then adding Eli Ricks would have been an A++. I like Eli Ricks.
Yeah, no, I do too. And yeah, that was, believe me, that was in consideration. And honestly, I think either way I went with it, I feel like addressed my needs for the secondary. So listen, I would have been more than fine with Eli Ricks personally.
Yeah, Eli Ricks was my CB8 in my quarterback rankings a couple months ago. I'm probably still in that area. His thing is all about projection. He's a big name, obviously from LSU and Alabama. And when he does play, he's terrific. But there's not a lot of tape when he did play last year. Really struggled there at Alabama. So really, really like Eli Ricks, but I get why someone might not be. Marina said gets a B. Smith Pitt gets a B. I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right, Marina. I'll take it too.
All right. That wraps it up. Ryan, where can we find you, man? Go ahead.
Yeah, always on Philly Sports Alliance, Twitter, the handle right there, Philly Sports PSA. Please give me a follow. Listen, you'll obviously get all of our shows, but we tweet out occasionally some good stuff. But yeah, mostly hit us up on YouTube. Just search Philly Sports Alliance. That's the best way. Subscribe. And then, of course, on Facebook, where all of our shows stream live directly on Facebook. But not only do you get the Philly Sports Alliance shows, but you also get the Painted Line shows coming to you live. Put on those automatic notifications. That way, boom, immediately you'll get a notification that we're live. And you get some good Philly sports action in the process. So, but yeah, I got a show later tonight, Football Smack Talk. Got 2 tomorrow with the Philly broadcast, and of course our show, the Birds of the Round Table, and a bunch of stuff throughout the rest of the week. So make sure you give us a follow, a like, a share, a comment, or whatever other buttons that there are, and then make sure you follow this guy too.
All right, that wraps it up. Eagles Mock 7.0 is in the books, guys. Make sure you hit like and subscribe wherever you're watching, and be on the lookout for voting. Although this might be
voting,
I'm going to get steamrolled in this one, and I'm okay with it. It is what it is. All right, so I might be looking at back-to-back losses in our dueling mocks here, but our draft coverage will continue. There will be a first-round mock draft tonight. I don't think it'll be live. I'm going to add graphics and highlight reels and stuff to it, so it's going to be like next level mock drafts. So be on the lookout for that. And Party on Broad this week will be on Wednesday at 6:15. It'll just breaking down Sixers, breaking down Eagles, maybe some NFL draft content. We will see. I'm kind of in wait and see mode now with the combine in just a couple of weeks. Yeah. Just put out a ton of NFL draft content. I did a 5-part series on my favorite underrated prospects in the draft. Those are all out there. Let me know your thoughts on those. If you're watching, comment. But that's about it, man. He is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. I am Dad, Mr. Crockbot for Ryan. For myself, stay awesome, everyone.